Welcome to Good Morning Akron, everyone. I'm your host, Sarah, and today I get to talk with Jessica Houde-Morris, and she is the founder, director of the Houde Acting School.
Yes.
So tell me a little bit about yourself and how you got into this.
Okay, so I started acting when I was 18 years old, and I went to Los Angeles kind of on a hunch, like maybe this is something I could do. I didn't know anyone. I just kind of packed my...
You just packed your bag and went. That's pretty bold, I feel like. That's really bold.
And I knew nothing about acting. I thought I did because I had taken a couple monologue classes around here, and I was like, I went out there and
I've got it.
Quickly realized that I didn't. So I went to a school called Playhouse West.
Okay.
It's a great school in Los Angeles, and I studied there for 4 years. So after studying for 4 years, I learned a technique that not many people know. There's a handful of people in the world at this point know the technique. It's called the Meisner Technique.
Right.
And through studying that, I ended up working with so many great people. I was working with James Franco, Jeff Goldblum, Scott Kahn, Shawnee Smith, and I got to work in plays with them, help produce their plays.
Wow, that's amazing.
It was pretty awesome. And then I think about the 4th year, I found out that I got an opportunity to teach, and I found out this is what I wanted to do.
I really realized like this.
I realized I love acting, but I really, really love teaching. So at that point, I made a decision: is it focus my attention on acting or teaching? And I decided acting was it. Teaching. Teaching was it. Yes.
Yeah. So let's expand more on what you do with the school and your teaching that you do there as well. And I know it's even expanded into you have more staff, you have more classes going on. So tell us a little bit about what goes on at your school.
Okay, awesome. So we have many online classes and in-person classes. We do a lot of in-person here in Cleveland, actually. So we're downtown Cleveland on Superior Road.
Great.
We have a large space, about 5,000 square feet. We film actors doing demo clips. We do team building events. So we bring in corporations and they come into our location, and we work on EI, emotional intelligence. We work on team building with the groups as well. We do acting classes. My specialty is the Meisner Technique. So the goal with the Meisner Technique is to teach you to listen and respond and to live truthfully under the imaginary circumstances. As I'm sitting here, I wonder if you'd like to do an exercise with me.
Yeah, sure. Actually, as you even said that, I was thinking, you know, I kind of do that during these interviews where I am trying to really listen to the person, respond to what they are saying. So I was even relating to some of that as you were talking. So sure, we can do an exercise.
So I'll explain what it is before we just kind of like throw you in there. But like I said, the foundation of the technique is to train people to be present, to be responsive, to be reactive, and that's mainly the foundation. And then from there we go into we have several stages of the technique. There's in fact 9 of them that we build upon. But the main focus is to really be there with your acting partner, because so many actors focus on just the way they're going to say their line, or they listen to cue words.
Right, and or it's kind of focused on themselves.
Correct.
Rather than focused on the whole experience.
It's important to understand what you're saying, why you're saying it, and all of that. Great, I totally understand, but it's also important to actually incorporate the person you're with, and I think a lot of actors don't realize that. I know I didn't before I got into the technique.
Sure.
So we have this exercise that I actually work with, like I said, even team building and corporate events, to get this person in front of us to really connect and listen. And so what we do is we start off with something that's on you, and you can't deny it because you have it on you. So you have a necklace, and so I would start with that, and we would literally just say that same thing over and over again. And the focus is to not try to force or preconceive the way we're going to say it, or not try to control it, but instead to just be responsive and to let that person take you somewhere and to be vulnerable with them. So we talk about having an experience with a person with just saying the same thing the entire time. And it's scary and it's crazy and it's kind of like, how can you do this? But really, when you listen to someone, you notice that they might be uncomfortable. They might be kind in that moment. They might be annoyed. And then we start to react to them, and then we have this ping pong game of emotions back and forth.
Okay.
So if you want to try it, we can try it.
Yeah, we can try it. So just so I understand, you're going to say something about me. Do I then say something about you?
You would just say the same thing.
Just repeat the
same
thing?
So if I say you have a necklace, then you would say I have a necklace, you have a necklace, I have a necklace, you have a necklace, I have a necklace, you have a necklace. We're literally saying the same thing the entire time. And it's to teach us, it's not just about the words, it's also about connecting with this person, listening and responding, and being reactive.
I love that.
Something I always say really quickly before we get into this, when we hear interviews with actors, famous actors, and a lot of times the question gets asked, what is acting to you? And most of the time it's reacting, it's listening, it's responding, it's being present. And a lot of new actors just don't get that. They think that it's all about memorizing the lines and having a specific way of saying the lines. And so this really helps kind of tie it all together.
Well, and I think social media culture has brought on a lot of that not being reactive, because we're in our own bubbles so often, and we're not engaging as much face to face with people. And so I think you do have to really make yourself do it, you know, force yourself out of that bubble.
Yeah, I totally agree.
Yeah.
All
right, let's try
this. Okay. You have beautiful eyes.
I have beautiful eyes.
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 Okay, good. So I'll stop it here. Now, we can do this for literally 10 minutes, and if we really connect at a deep level, at first you kind of felt, you know, bashful and flattered, and then from there it made me feel good, and then it made you feel good, and ultimately we go through these different emotions, and then there was that moment.
I realized I like did it in a question at first, like I do, and then
the instinct was like,
changed.
it changed, and then at the end you were kind of like, okay, I'm sort of a bit over this, which I totally saw, and that's okay. So if I was working with you, I would be like, you have beautiful eyes, kind of like, okay, you seem to be not as connected and not wanting to do this anymore. So how can we continue? What's my point of view to that? So what we try to work towards is being able to pinpoint what's going on with this person. How do I feel about it? How do they feel about it? And we just go back and forth.
And how do we reconnect maybe when someone disconnects?
Because it does. It happens all the time. I always say you're staring at a human like directly in their eyes. It's not something we do every day. So we're going to disconnect. We're going to feel uncomfortable. It's just kind of forcing ourselves, like you said, to connect again.
Right.
And that's what we do in the acting world, because there's going to be times we have all these cameras around us. We have boom mics, all this, and it's being able to just kind of zone that out and really connect with this person, and it just takes time and practice, and this exercise helps with that.
Yeah, I can see how that would help.
Thanks for participating.
Yes, of course.
I wasn't planning that, but I was like, hey, let's try.
Yeah, why don't we? I love that. I love that you brought that up.
Awesome.
That's great. So tell us a little bit more. So if someone is watching this and they are like, hey, I'm actually interested in acting, tell us a little bit more about how they can sign up for class, maybe a little bit more about the specifics of what kind of acting classes you offer.
Okay. Yeah, awesome. So we do have a free class, so anyone can jump in and check out a class for free, and I'll get them up there
a free
and try
trial
this
and just try it out. Yeah.
And I promise those watching, this looks easier than it is. When we do this, it looks like, oh, I got this. But when you do it, it is hard to connect, and it's hard to really stay present. So anyone can jump into a free class. We offer the Meisner Technique. We do an on-camera class. We do a commercial, industrial / scene work, because really this market here in the Cleveland, Akron, so we focus on those, so that way people can have an understanding of what they're going to be tackling here, so that way they can kind of really dominate this market, and then they can branch out to the Atlanta, New York, LA. We offer the Meisner Improv. We actually do a combat class for film, television, and stage, which is really great.
That is really fun.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. And then online, we do a script analysis class. We do improv as well, and then we have 15 Meisner classes online now a week. So we have about 26 classes per week between. It's great now that we do online, because all of my teachers that are successful working actors in Atlanta, LA are now teaching for me. So
I love that.
They're teaching online, which is really great. We do a business of acting as well online, so that way people can have an understanding. Okay, I know how to act. What's the next step? What's the business side of this?
Right.
So we offer that online also.
So is your only in-person location in Cleveland?
Yes, it is. It's the downtown
location.
Yep.
Perfect.
Yep.
All right. So how can people find you? Go ahead and share your social media and your website, and they might want to sign up.
Awesome. So our website is hoodeschoolofacting.com, and it's Hood. So it sounds like Hood, but it's actually HOUDE. So
perfect.
Hoodeschoolofacting.com. And then we have the Facebook, Instagram, and all of that as well. Hood School of Acting.
I love that.
Yeah.
All right, and let's finish it off with some words of wisdom for a young aspiring actor that might be watching this, or maybe there's a parent watching whose teenager has said, I really want to get into acting. Let's leave them with some words of wisdom.
So something I try to focus and instill in my students is that it's about a community and it's about hard work. You know, it's going to be difficult. This is not an easy industry. I mean, not many industries are, but there's going to be a lot of rejection. And as long as we just keep putting the work into and understanding that it's going to be our time when it is our time, and not give up, it's worth it. It's definitely worth it. And you never know where your path's going to end. I went out to LA thinking that I was going to act, and I wanted to, and I was signed with James Franco's manager at the time, and
Wow.
I made that decision. I wanted to teach, and I couldn't be happier. So, embracing where you're supposed to be at and just working hard is what I tell all my
I love
students.
that. When it's your time, it's your time. I actually was listening to a podcast this morning that was referencing Niecy Nash's speech that she just gave.
Okay.
I think it was at the Emmys.
Yeah.
And basically it referenced that, how she's 52 and she just got her first Emmy, and she had, for 4 times she had been nominated and didn't get it, and she's been acting her entire life.
Yeah.
But this was her time at 52, and I just loved that because I was also so encouraged by thinking, when it's your time, it's your time. And I love that you referenced that as well, and just put in the hard work and go for it if it's what you want to do. Yeah, that's great. All right, thank you so much, Jessica.
Thank you.
And thank you guys so much for watching. We had a great morning here on Good Morning Akron. Make sure you stay tuned. We've got more great stuff coming up next.